If you're planning a trip to Las Vegas, you're probably familiar with the top hotels.
Oh my gosh.
The hotels that are trash. And then some of the hotels that might not necessarily be worth the money or that you may have heard about but you're unsure if you should stay at. But what about those hotels that are undervalued or those hotels that might be slept on? That's exactly what we're going to talk about in today's video. The most underrated hotels on the Las Vegas Strip or on the Las Vegas Strip vicinity. So without further ado, let's get started. Now, oftentimes when it comes to planning a trip to Vegas, we all know what the top hotels are. We know what those hotels are that just really ain't it, that you shouldn't even waste your money at. But there's a lot of hotels, in my opinion, that are actually sleeper hotels, hotels that are undervalued, that when people are planning a trip to Vegas, they get a little hesitant or unsure if they should actually consider staying there, when in my opinion, for the price point, they're no-brainers. There are a few hotels on the Las Vegas Strip that when it comes to the price point, people should actually strongly consider, but I think they have the wrong impression on it. So today we're going to talk about these hotels, these underrated hotels, these sleeper gems that are actually on the Las Vegas Strip or in the Las Vegas Strip vicinity. So let's get into the video and talk about some of these hotels that don't really get enough attention that I think deserve a lot more attention. Alright, first on this underrated hotels list, I have Harrah's. Now, I notice when I talk to people about Harrah's, a lot of people think about Harrah's, but they think about the older Harrah's. The Harrah's that had the dated rooms, there wasn't much going on. The Harrah's that was next to Imperial Palace that was so long ago. But they look at Harrah's and then they have this kind of hesitant, not confident feeling about if they should stay at Harrah's, if it's worth the money. Well, we're going to actually talk about it today. I want you to actually sit back, relax, and I'm going to give you some reasons on why you should actually consider staying at Harrah's and why it's a hotel that's actually undervalued and a sleeper hotel in my opinion. Let's just start about the price point that Harrah's is in. When you're going to Vegas, Harrah's is typically in the price range of the Link, Flamingo, Bally's, even Luxor. But when you actually look at what the hotel offers, it actually has a lot of things that those other hotels don't. Let's start with the hotel itself. Harrah's is in middle strip territory as far as the location goes on the Las Vegas Strip. It's not dead center because we look at the Bellagio as dead center. But when you look at Harrah's, it's right next to the Link, and the Link gets a lot of attention because of the Link Promenade. And with Harrah's being right next to that, that puts it in a prime location as far as being around things to do on the Las Vegas Strip. When we look at the rooms, I don't think a lot of people realize that Harrah's has actually renovated all of the rooms at the hotel. So no matter what room you book at Harrah's, it'll be a newly remodeled and refreshed room. I've always said that the Valley Tower rooms at Harrah's when they first started the remodel were some of the most underrated and slept on rooms when it comes to rooms on the Las Vegas Strip in general. The Valley Tower rooms have a clean, modern, updated look. The bathrooms are very, very nice. You have a walk-in shower. Now, why they have these walk-in showers that don't have a door or a shower curtain beats me. But they have the dispensers. And then when you go in the rooms, the king and two queen beds are comfortable beds. You also get an empty mini refrigerator. You get a nice TV. And then you have a dining room table with good views. And then they're a really good space. They're not a small cramped space. Then when you talk about the dining options at Harrah's, you don't have to worry about going off-site for a lot of options. The hotel gives you different food options. You have a food hall with a variety of different options. You've got the pizza cake that some people actually like for pizza. Some people aren't the biggest fond of it, myself included. When it comes to entertainment, the piano bar surprisingly is a very popular place. There's live music there, so it gives you some type of entertainment at the hotel. You've also got the carnival court right outside of Harrah's, and there's always something going on in that area. And then you've got the Link right next door with the Link Promenade, so you've got the zip line, you've got the high roller, plenty of bars there, O'Shea's. It's a lot of action going on in that particular area because it's right next to the Link. So if you're considering staying at Harrah's, I would definitely consider it one of the underrated hotels on the Strip. It's got a great location with a lot going on. The hotel itself has a lot of different options and nice rooms, even a nice sports book and a fun casino to be around. There's entertainment around you. You've got great hotels across the street and right next to it, and then a string of budget hotels right next to you. So I would definitely consider it an underrated hotel and one of the hotels that I would definitely say offers more value than what you might actually pay for. Next on my underrated hotels list, I have Vdara. Now, in my opinion, I think Vdara is one of the most slept on, underrated hotels, and I've been saying this for years on this channel. The Vdara is a 5-star hotel It originally was supposed to be a condo for locals. It wasn't even supposed to be a hotel, but because of the hotel crash and the recession in 2008, MGM decided to make it a separate hotel to the sister property, Aria. It's an all-suite resort, and on a matter of technicalities, it is not directly on the Las Vegas Strip since it has a Harmon address, but it's right in between Aria and the Cosmopolitan, and then it has a bridge that is connected to the Bellagio. Now, although the Vdara is a small hotel, surprisingly to a lot of people, there is a select group of people who want to go to Las Vegas, Sin City, the city that never sleeps, and want to stay at a hotel with a more quiet, calm atmosphere. And this is the perfect hotel for that. It's an all-suite hotel, so no matter what suite you get, you're going to have a very nice suite and a lot of amenities that you're not going to find in other hotels on the Las Vegas Strip. I recently did a video on the best Vdara suite, so I won't go on a whole breakdown on all of those suites. You can check out that video and see the different suite options and what I think are the best suites at the hotel. But even in the standard studio suite, getting a kitchenette, empty mini refrigerator, having a nice king size bed, and then a couch with a pull-out sleeper sofa so you can get 2 beds and a base studio is a sleeper to me. Now, with Vdara being a 5-star property, you're gonna start looking at hotels in the 5-star range. And when you look at what you get out of your room to stay at the Vdara in comparison to these other hotels that are 5-star properties on the Strip, you're getting way more than what you would pay for. The simple fact that you get a kitchenette and an empty mini refrigerator, also a couch with a pull-out sleeper sofa, and a standard studio, that alone for the price that you would pay to stay at Vdara is underrated in itself. You're not gonna get a kitchenette at hardly any of the other hotels on the Las Vegas Strip or in the Las Vegas Strip vicinity. A lot of people also like having a microwave. You're not even gonna get a microwave at a lot of these luxury hotels on the Las Vegas Strip. And the spa at the Vdara is one of the most popular spas in all of Las Vegas for people who like to go to the spa. But if you're someone who wants a casino, you can just walk right over to Aria, you can go to Bellagio, or you can go down the stairs and gamble inside the Cosmopolitan. I don't think them having a casino is not that big of a deal. For what you would pay to stay at the Vdara, even in the base suite alone, but once you get up to the city corner suite and more, what you get out of the actual suite, in my opinion alone, is underrated in value in itself. But even though it's not directly on the Las Vegas Strip, the fact that you have the Aria, you have the Bellagio, you have Cosmo, which are all center strip hotels, and then you have a tram if you want to go down even further to the Park MGM and not have to walk. The fact that you have all of that at this hotel is why I consider Vdara one of the sleeper hotels and one of the underrated hotels in Las Vegas. But let's move on and talk about the next hotel in this underrated hotels list. Next on the list, I have Park MGM. Now, a lot of people, even to this day, still ask me, do I think Park MGM is worth the money, or what do I actually think about the Park MGM? And I think the biggest problem, in my honest opinion, when it comes to Park MGM is people still compare Park MGM to the old Monte Carlo. If you're familiar with Monte Carlo, it was one of the most popular hotels in Las Vegas and on the Las Vegas Strip because it was one of the budget hotels, but it was a fun hotel to be around. But in my opinion, I think we should really stop comparing Park MGM to Monte Carlo. So let's start with the rooms itself. The rooms were completely remodeled when they came and took over Monte Carlo and redid it into Park MGM. They added a walk-in shower, and even though there's accent walls, whether it's a green or red accent wall, and I know some people aren't necessarily the fondest of the color of the accent wall, it still gives it a different touch to make it distinguished and stand out from it being the old Monte Carlo. The beds, in my opinion, are more comfortable now at Park MGM than they were at Monte Carlo. And then you get a better TV and more entertainment and connectivity options. They certainly made the rooms more modern. And when you look at the casino now at Park MGM in comparison to other hotels on the Las Vegas Strip, the casino at Park MGM is really a nice casino. Then we've got to talk about Italy. Some people might not be fond of Italy. I've actually eaten at a couple of restaurants and the food is actually pretty good. They also have a steakhouse there, and then right next to Park MGM, you've got Shake Shack, which is at New York, New York. And then there are a couple other options as far as the restaurants go outside of Park MGM. Not only is Park MGM in a good location, when you walk out of the front door at Park MGM, you've got T-Mobile right there in front of your face. So if you're going to an event at T-Mobile, whether it's to see a hockey game or some music or sporting event, it doesn't get any better than standing at Park MGM. It's literally the neighbor to T-Mobile Arena. There's also the theater at Park MGM where there's multiple shows going on. You've also got the Silk Sonic shows that are happening at Park MGM. And then you also have On The Record, which is a club there but has more of a lounge feel. And you also have different rooms at On The Record. It's really a good time. Now there are certain times where Park MGM might be a little bit more than some of the affordable hotels, but there are times where you can find Park MGM cheaper than a lot of the budget hotels or equivalent to the prices in the budget hotel range. And with CVS being next door, the different food options that I mentioned earlier, a Target being across the street, and even a walkway tunnel that will take you from Park MGM directly into Aria without even stepping outside, and the other entertainment options that I mentioned earlier, I have Park MGM as one of the hotels on the more underrated side when it comes to hotels on the Las Vegas Strip. It can definitely be a sleeper. Now the last hotel I have on my list for the most underrated hotels on the Las Vegas Strip or in the Las Vegas Strip vicinity is Planet Hollywood. Now I will say that of recent, maybe over the last few months, I'll say Planet Hollywood has started to get a little more attention, but I still don't think Planet Hollywood gets the full respect that it deserves. Now when we talk about hotels and the price point of Planet Hollywood, you're in the affordable price range. On the weekend, you're in the $200 a night range. But when you talk about a hotel for a base room and the price point at Planet Hollywood, you get more at Planet Hollywood than you'll get at some of the luxury hotels. I've talked about it in previous videos, how you get a soaking tub and a water closet, and in some of the luxury hotels, you don't even get that in the base room. When you talk about prime location, Bellagio is the center of the strip. Well, guess what's across the street from Bellagio? Planet Hollywood. Directly across the street is Paris. Planet Hollywood is next to it. When you talk about shops, people like to talk about the Crystal shops. People like to talk about the shops at Bellagio. People like to talk about the Forum shops at Caesars, even the Fashion Mall down there by Palazzo and Venetian. But I don't think a lot of people understand the value that you have at the Miracle Mile shops. For Planet Hollywood to be a fun hotel, to be a party hotel, for its base room to offer a lot of things that you don't get at luxury hotels, let alone hotels in its own hotel tier range. You've got the Miracle Mile shops with some of the cheapest restaurants, some of the best happy hour spots. You've got a lot of restaurants at Planet Hollywood. The casino feels like a club when you're walking through the club. I could go on and on all day about how underrated Planet Hollywood is, but I don't want this to be a 50-minute video. One of the biggest complaints I heard of recent about Planet Hollywood wasn't the room, wasn't the casino, wasn't the restaurants, was the wait time to check in at the hotel. And I said, if that's something that you have to complain about, that should be something that's actually a good thing to consider. Planet Hollywood, as of recent, over the last few years, actually did remodel their rooms. Before, the rooms were the Hollywood style. Now they're the ultra hit rooms. I've done plenty of videos on Planet Hollywood. I just most recently did a video on the best rooms at Planet Hollywood. If you haven't checked that video out, I'll leave the link in the description. You can check that video out as well, so you can see the different room options and which rooms I think are the best rooms at Planet Hollywood. But even to this day, I would say over the last year, I've probably stayed at Planet Hollywood just as much as I've stayed at any of the other 5-star hotels that I like to stay at, because it's such a great time. Cafe Hollywood, the restaurant, is one of my favorite restaurants in all of Las Vegas. They used to be 24 hours, but of recent, because of the demic, they normally close at 12 now. But then you've got Gordon Ramsay Burger at Planet Hollywood, which is one of the most popular burger restaurants. You've got the PNB Bar Grill, which is popular because they've got these big fish bowls. And then, as I mentioned earlier, once you get into the Miracle Mile shops, people who actually want to buy things in Vegas that might not have money for Gucci, Louis, Chanel, Prada, Balenciaga, you've got the most popular common option as far as shops there. You've got Champs, you've got Foot Locker, and some of those other affordable stores right there at your hotel. It truly is, in my opinion, probably the most undervalued hotel of all of the hotels on the Las Vegas Strip, because of what you not only get for the room, but how much fun the hotel is and everything that surrounds Planet Hollywood. And to this day, I still will say that I believe the most underrated hotel on the Las Vegas Strip is Planet Hollywood. Now, if there is a hotel on this list that you think isn't really an underrated hotel, or you think isn't really undervalued, comment below and share your thoughts. If you're someone who travels to Vegas a lot and you think there's a hotel on the Las Vegas Strip or that's in the Las Vegas Strip vicinity that you would deem as an underrated hotel that people should consider, comment below and we can talk about that in the comment section. But that's going to do it for this video. If you all enjoyed the video, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, and as always, thanks for watching.